Hello. First of all, pleasure to meet you.
You
Super
too.
good talk. I've gaining a lot of insight in the industry lately, and I have a question more related to the process, perhaps. Uh, if someone wants to ask you the most important steps or first steps in your path for building your own company and having to gain a name for yourself, call it like that, what would you name the three biggest or most important steps in your journey, especially if starting from scratch?
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay, that's good. I would say age has a lot to do with it because in your 20s, you are, I think the most important biological thing for most people in their 20s is how do I make an impact, right? How do I make a name for myself? Um, I remember myself in my 20s, I was driven by that so much naturally that it gave me all the boosts I needed. As I got into my 30s and got a little bit older, that changes your family and your priorities shift. So first of all, you're primed for the natural sort of organic, you know, power that you have within you to do the things that you want to do. That's the most important. Um, at that stage, when you're there, then it becomes what are you motivated by, right? So for me, I switched my hat different directions every few years until I just wanted to be a part of greatness. And by greatness, I mean music that could affect millions of people, even if it wasn't my own music. And so that means that I changed from DJ to producer to promoter to eventually record label until I signed someone that was able to do those things. And so you just first gotta ask yourself what you're motivated by, and then I think understanding the landscape of what you're in. I mean, sometimes if you're too early, it's not good, and if you're too late, it's not good. So you want to be on time with whatever product that you're putting out. You're not going to educate your audience. I think people used to say that a lot. Like, hey, this album or this art is going to educate people to like my stuff or teach them what my music is about. No one wants to be educated. Everyone just wants to listen to something that they're familiar with, that's really great at the moment, and that they can dive into. So I would say those are a few big things, and then just in terms of like building a successful name for yourself, I think just having the a no ego approach and thinking about how can I add the most value in a situation that I'm exposed to, and then being able to pivot what your role is quickly. Like I went from DJ to manager, I remember within like a week because I knew that if I worked with this person as a manager and they trusted me, I could help blow this thing up. And so I think the future of all business in general is being like as fluid as you can be and multi-skilled. And that's really something that I would take also in music is you gotta be a good marketer, or if you're not a good marketer, know what it means to be a good marketer so you can identify that person. You gotta obviously you wanna work with a team or have good ears yourself to know what's a good enough product. And then ultimately decide if you're working with an artist or yourself, the drive has to just be delusional. I mean, you're in music and art and commerce don't naturally mix, right? So everyone in this room is trying to do the impossible, right? Which is become successful in the art space. And it's a very limited space of success. So you have to have an edge or a disruptive advantage in every aspect of what you're doing. And so to think in that way, I think, is the most important thing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you. We have another student question.
no problem.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for your time
Of course.
to be here. My name is Henry. I'm a RA student here at Full Sail. In the past year, I started my own, company. It's a creative platform. I'm still kind of trying to define and refine what it is that the company will be doing. And as of right now, I'm a DJ producer, and so I'm releasing my own music on this label. I'm using, Lander Distribution, which is another distribution company, like DistroKid and all those.
Yeah.
But as a DJ and my productions, I specifically make techno music. So I'm not doing, you know, your typical, I think what a lot of students here, you know, I'm not trying to win Grammys necessarily. I mean, sure, possibly, you know, I'm not making like pop music. My music is focused and geared towards being sold more for other DJs to play at clubs and whatever, festivals, whatever you want to call them. And so the storefronts that I'm more interested in are like Beatport specifically, or you know, there are a few others that cater more specifically towards, you know, DJs, and even making a physical release like on a vinyl record, for instance. There's like Word and Sound, there's the Orchard. These are distribution companies that'll work with smaller, specific, you know, genre-specific record labels. I guess I'm not sure what my question is exactly.
Yeah.
But I heard that you were also a DJ, and but I think you gather what I'm trying to say. I don't know if your company offers that, or what I should be focusing on in order to reach the audience that I'm trying to reach, essentially.
I think in the techno space is driven a ton by sort of artist cosigns, and so you want a big techno artist to either bring you under their wing, on their existing, because that scene takes 20 years to build credibility. Those guys that are in it have been playing shows till 6 a.m. from like 16 to 45 years old.
Yeah, I'm 48 years old. This is my first college experience. When I was 19, I started DJing professionally, doing drum and bass. But I had to step away from that industry for various reasons. But I still have some connections there. I still have some clout, I guess you could say. But
Right.
I'm really trying to start, you know, my own thing now and be independent in that.
Yeah, listen, your scene, especially, age is not an issue. I mean, most of the guys that are big are already older, so you're actually coming in not with an advantage, almost. And so I think for you, the coolest thing to do would be to like talk about your story, being in your, you already have such a disruptive, different approach because of what you've been through, where you're at now, your first college experience. Like I would make sort of like a mini series about what you're doing and share that online, and at the same time be figuring out how to get your music that you're making in the arms and hands of credible people in your scene to either play at shows. You can work with DJ promo companies like Listen Up or Your Army or Two Dimension that do that, and so those guys are going to help you get your songs played by other DJs. But I think online there's a really cool version of doing this that people are doing, which is like taking screenshots of DJs playing their music and then putting that on their feed, and then people seeing that and getting instant credibility. So I think building audience in your scene right now I see a really, not easy, but a really clear path forward. So I would say considering the things that I just mentioned to you, as brief as they were, but I think is important.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate your words of advice there and insights. I appreciate your time.
You got it. Yeah, keep it going.
So I have more questions if no other students are going to, I mean, how much longer do we have?
About 10 minutes.
Oh, great, okay. So I had a couple questions for you in terms of, let's say you were able to take the knowledge you have now back to maybe you're starting out as an independent artist yourself. What would your distribution strategy be from day one? Like, what would your strategy look like?
I think just figuring out how to get as good as possible at producing instead of thinking about all the other things. Like, before you think about promo, think about your craft as much as you can, or get as good as you can at it, and then start your promo. That's probably something I would say. I spent a lot of time like spreading myself thin and meeting with people and like, well, what's the point of going to a networking event if you don't have a good enough product, right? And so I think that's probably what I would say to myself.
Okay. And what about, now distribution in the past was about sales, right? It was more about like trying to monetize and sell stuff, products. Distribution has changed a lot over the years with digital, right? It's become more expanding your reach, developing an audience, promoting yourself pretty much with your music a lot of times for indie artists. And what would you say would be the monetization strategy? What should an independent artist today that's expanding their reach with all these streaming platforms? I know that Spotify is now providing the platform to do that. You can use things like Shopify and add your vinyl records and tape cassettes and stuff like that into the platform on Spotify, or even Ticketmaster. You can put your shows up there for tickets, links and things. Is that something that y'all are involved in as well, with strategy?
Yes, so we help educate all parts of district. We don't control those things ourselves. A lot of those are obviously by the artist, but I would say the one thing that we do help with is establishing audience, so there is a network of people that want to buy your product. So, like, you know, I think a lot of artists have a problem of not knowing what stage they're in, and so the first thing we do is we get into that. Like, where are you at, right? Like, is there an audience? Is there not? Okay, like, let's work on this. Let's work on that first or second, because there is a sort of step-by-step process that every artist has gone through to get to a level of what we consider to be successful, right? And by that, it's being able to live off of your music, whether it's touring or streaming or a combination of both. And so we know that definition is becoming more and more inflated every day, right? Because of where we're at. And so we just try to help identify where they're at, and then we can obviously get into all the minuscule details of distribution, but they don't matter until there's an audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, to answer your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Hi, David.
Hi.
It's Monique. We've only met via email, so how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Quick question for you. So I'm listening to all of the care that you put into what you give your clients and the approach that you're taking, and to me it sounds like artist management. So why distribution and these other services and not just doing artist management?
So we, it's a good question. We're really careful with the word artist management, because artist management can be really time intensive and requires a certain relationship with the artist on a day-to-day basis that we ultimately can't do. And you want that relationship between the artist and the manager to be like really sacred and local and a little bit more intimate. Whereas with us, we're more, think of us as seasoned record label execs that have done the music thing for so long, and giving you that knowledge to get you either to a manager or to get you to an agent or to get you to the right rest of your team. And then really hyper focusing on the music and the development of the product. And we help with strategy and rollouts, and we have you can book a call with our marketing guy at any time through the dashboard. But we don't like to call ourselves managers, because that just opens up a whole different part of the business, because really your manager at the end of it, if you're successful, is also managing your lawyer, your business manager, your tour manager. And so that's not something that we eventually wanted to sort of build with it.
At any point, do you guys advise some of the people that reach out to you to start building their team in those areas?
If we feel like they're ready. Most artists that we get with are still in that earlier stage of between the ages of 18 and 25, figuring out the business. We've had a few artists that have been with us that have gone on to sign major record deals and have had success leaving us, which for us is always, we're happy. We're not exclusive. You can come and go as please. And we've had a lot of people leave and come back. And so we don't necessarily look at that as a bad thing. We want people to come here and grow, and most of the time when they come to us, they're still at a level where they need us to get involved for the first even 2 years before they're able to then go and get a manager or move forward. But we do have, I'd say, out of our 1,000 artists, probably close to 80 to 90 that really have a good team. So I'd say just right around 10%.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Have another question? Great.
I got one question for you. I wanted to ask you about the services. Being that I already have a record label and publishing company established, I would want to with the, okay, how many artists can I, for the white glove service? Is it just one for that 1,500 per year?
Yes, so that would get you basically like exactly one. If you have multiple artists, or like if you have a label with again more than a couple of users, you could always reach out to us. We're doing a special with Full Sail in terms of our collaboration. Riley Chapman, I believe, is in the class, or I don't know where he is, but he's been working with us. He's a user. He's a huge advocate and ambassador for us. So Riley could always get you set up with us as well. And we are doing like student discounts for you guys as well in the monthly. So we could work with you in a capacity that's a little bit more custom to meet the needs of multiple artists. But on our website, the way that it is for specific users. Those are the specific pricing tiers.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Quick shout out to Riley Chapman. He is a campus student and he's in the online chat right now. So just want to give Riley his props for setting up the meeting with Green Tea today. And if you guys need to get in touch with Riley, I will reach out to him and make sure it's okay to give you his contact information. But Riley is here on campus, just so you guys know.
Okay, cool.
So, thank you so much for being so generous with your perspective with us, David. Really appreciate you. This has been genuinely insightful. And I just want to open it up for you to tell us how to follow or connect with you or your company for the students here.
Totally. Our website, greentdistro.com. Our Instagram is just @greentdistro. Distro is just short for distribution. And you guys can DM us. We have someone in the DMs all day that's helping artists answer any questions about the platform or need help with stuff. So feel free to connect in there. And if you guys ever want to do a sort of demo of the product, you can reach out on DM as well. But again, we're building new and fascinating products on a monthly basis within the platform. And I think for any artist that's looking to, identify where they're at, how to get to the next stage, get their product to be better, we definitely are building a great nurturing home for that. And we are trying to help people graduate to further and further parts of their career outside of education, but in a real world setting. So I'm stoked to have the opportunity to be here. Full Sail is obviously an incredible program, and it was a pleasure to speak to you guys and hear all your questions as well.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I'm just going to give the mic back over to Monique, and that's it.
All right, everybody, you're free to go. Thanks for being here. Thanks, David. Thanks, Riley.
You got it.
Recording stopped.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.